Hey guys, the podcast will always be free. If you go into the description or the top comment, there's a locals, a Patreon, a buy me a coffee, a Cash App, a PayPal. Legitimately, $1 a month makes the world of a difference. And I know you're thinking, no, it doesn't. It literally does. It keeps the show going. It's why it's so free flowing and hectic and frankly unprofessional and vulgar, but it's the reason why it's free and why it's fun. Please, if you can, donate $1. Thank you. And we are recording with the one and only Akira The Don, who it is true, he does have clout. Monday, January 19th, 2026 at 11:18 a.m. Eastern time. Uh, and as I was just telling you, and I've told other people, yeah, man, it's very easy retroactively to be like, oh, that was inspiring. But when I was at truly like the bottom, a couple years after my brother committed suicide, I was fat and unemployed and retarded and living above my parents' garage. I used to listen to all your meaning waves because that's back when I was doing Photoshop because it was something. It was a form of something that at the very least was like, don't give up or move forward. And I know some people, roll their eyes at motivational stuff. Hey, man, until you've been at the bottom, and they're retarded because regardless of motivational stuff, the music's just incredible. But I used to listen to your Jocko stuff when I was like power washing fences and shit, and my life is almost incomparable to how it was 6 years ago. And I think what you're done, I know firsthand that the work you do is genuinely life changing. Not to kiss your ass immediately, but for everybody, go to the description, go to his YouTube, go to his Rumble, go to his Instagram, go to his Twitter, blah blah blah. But Akira, how you doing, sir?
Oh, good, man. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Merry fucking Christmas. Happy New Year. Yeah, good. Last time I spoke to you, you were like on the verge of quitting or you'd just been about to quit or something. And now you're looking healthy and jacked and it's Christmas forever.
It's
Like, let's go.
no, it's the like all the revenue streams dried up, and now new ones have arisen, but as of 5 days ago, I'm sober 2 years. Last year, I
Sure.
lost a pound a day for 52 weeks. I dropped 52 pounds.
Yeah, I've been
Um,
seeing your Instagram.
Thank you.
You've been on that fucking on Dave Blunt's health journey for actually doing it.
Yeah, no, it's
I've
there's
been
no
showing my son. I'll be like, look, you pop up on my feed, and I call my son over, and because we keeping an eye on your progress, and we're all very impressed.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful thing to observe, and you're
Um,
doing great. So keep it up. What did you? So you said you opened up some. What did you change, like revenue wise or whatever? Because this, as a podcast, presumably there's not that many
no, there's
avenues. It's
not.
like subscriptions and advertising.
Correct. Well, when I say change, it's less of, and this is kind of where it gets very difficult. It's less of things you change so much as there are things that change, and then So, like last October, with no warning, YouTube was like, "Hey, you can come back on." I've been banned for 4 years, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay." Got back on. All my stuff was still there. Of course, it's all archived perfectly.
So they let you. That's crazy. It was interesting. So it was that little moment. It was like they're going to let people back on YouTube, and like people like Milo and Fuentes and Alex Jones like try to open new accounts and
Yeah,
immediately
they're
get told
fuck
to
off.
piss off.
Yeah, they're like, fuck off. I have no faith that that's long lasting, but that's turned into a revenue stream. I mean, one company was paying me and that dropped, and then a new one arose. A lot of it is so it's less things I change because you're right, it's very limited. Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, locals, Patreon. I mean, I'm not big enough at anything else to get monetized. A lot of it is pushing forward until the things eventually. It's like, how did you pick the lock? Well, if you knew the combination of the lock, you'd pick it. If you don't know, what you can do, from what little I know about lock picking, is like
What
you do
the
have to keep
hell?
pushing and pushing and put until the click happens. And
There's Satoshi Nakamoto or whatever.
yeah,
Like he's sitting on like 16 million Bitcoin or something,
yeah,
and like that's like what 16 word seed phrase.
24, I think.
Is it 24? I can never remember. Anyway, presumably, so if you were just trying that all day, every day, and had been doing for 10 years, it's possible you would have got that by now.
I saw something, not to immediately derail this, but I saw some. I don't know anything about crypto, and I can't understand it. Is But apparently, if something happened to it, it would destroy Bitcoin. There's something about that. So it's kind of a catch 22. If you got it, the Bitcoin you got would almost lose all of its value.
Well, you wouldn't take it all out immediately, would you? Because that would be fucking
But there's
crazy.
something about if it changes. I know crypto is black magic to me. It sounds like I don't understand. It's and it kind it's when you grow up and you're like, yeah, all those explanations about Santa don't really hold up, and you're like, well, it's because your parents were lying to you, right? It's that's kind of how crypto seems to me. But to one of
But
the
anyway,
things,
to carry on with the lock picking analogy.
oh yeah. I don't know, but that's kind of keep pushing. So a lot of it was just keep. I mean, I can vividly remember like being in my parents. I mean, I remember listening to one of your things about Rogan, and it was like just do something, do anything. Like you don't have to go do it all today. Like, go do
Mm,
something, go walk. I mean, and a huge one that's helped me a lot is your Stan Lee one, which is like never make what you think people want, make what you want, and
mm,
that electricity will be noticeable. Another one is Jocko. They don't get a seat at the table.
mm,
Tiredness. It's actually in my daily to-do list, and it's from you. It's I look at anxiety and depression and I go, forget them as emotions. Instead, I go, imagine that's somebody emailing you or that's somebody on your podcast. Very quickly, you'd be like, you can't come on anymore. I don't like you. You don't get a seat at the table.
no, no,
And I'd say
no
lastly,
votes.
yeah, and I think exactly, and I think the lastly, the thing that helped me the most is probably Goggins, and it's break
Mm,
the soul of whatever's in front of you.
mm,
But most importantly is when I get to heaven, I want God to have the list and go, but I didn't see
yeah,
this, and that's just not
yeah.
to sit here and suck your dick, but that's how much it's helped me, man. And I just
No, but those are all bangers, and there's so many of these things, and it's so easy to forget these things, and it's like I forget these things. It's part of why I make this stuff is to re-remind myself of stuff that I knew when I was a baby.
mm,
You start babies know all this stuff, and then you have it knocked out of you by school and the world and this, that, and the other, and then a lot of people spend their whole lives either trying to reconfigure bits of it or just staying in the sort of like vegetable retard state they've been hammered into. What that the Stan Lee one you mentioned is crucial, right? Because so you say, what is it, 6 years you've been doing this now, right?
mm-hmm.
And in that time, how many people you seen come and go, right? And
Oh,
you've
in
seen
the
people
podcast.
rise
Oh
up
yeah,
so
yeah.
high, right? So high, and there'll be people who rise real high. And you're like, why are those motherfuckers doing so good? And then they'll be gone, and you're still there. And a big part of that is the whole one ass thing that happens to people is they succumb to this audience capture thing, or they do what they think would be the right thing to get them on. My wife and I were talking about this last night. She was like, "There's various like things that people have been like, you should do this, you should do this record, this thing." But it clearly would have been massive at that point, but it was not congruent with me. It's not what I truly believed in. And had I done that, that would have probably destroyed me, because every time you do something like that, it chips away at you, and people
Mm-hmm.
know, like real people can see it. And maybe that small part of the audience that's really noisy, that's demanding you do stuff, would be like satiated for a moment, but they always want more, and they always want more, and they're going to keep demanding and keep demanding. It's you that's there to lead them in a way, and certainly they only come to you in the first place because you have something that they want, that you represent something true. And the second you start to deviate from that, you cease to be useful. So maybe you have some like short-term gains, but long-term it's going to screw you. And you've seen that. There's the whole class of 2016, all that first wave of sort of online, early wave even of online sort of right-wing influencer types. There's like three of those people left. You know, and it's not just that some of them went to jail. It's like some of them completely flipped. Some of them had their noses chopped off. All sorts of weird shit goes down. But you still standing, my friend. So shout out to you.
Thank you, sir. It's kind of one thing I've realized is over the years, I would get so, there's no other word than jealous, but just jealous of these things that would blow up. And I'd be like, like, why can't I get that? And I was always chasing that flashpoint. But as it's gone on, you see those things, they rise and they fall. And then, because then there's no substance. Very quickly, if it's a shock value, they have to continually increase the shock value. Well, that can only go on for so long. If it's a viral thing, that virality dies down. And these skyrocket moments that I was pursuing for years, I've slowly realized no, the absence of them is what's giving me success. It's when we were little and we'd be up at like the lake or something and we'd like, try to start a fire, we'd throw all this like newspaper on it, and it'd go, whoom, it'd completely take off. and like 30 seconds is a pile of ash. My dad would be like, well, you
Mm-hmm.
guys are, you're retarded. Like, you need a little bit of that, but then you got to put the twigs and the pine cones, and then you get it going, and then the logs, and then you come out the next morning, not even tending the fire, and there's still coals and stuff. And there is no shortcut. You can have the quick one, and that's gone. And it's when I say dawned on me, I mean maybe the last month or so, maybe 2 months of 6 years of the podcast, I've actually started to notice and then appreciate that there hasn't been a moment like that. It's forced me to just go in every day.
There's a thing, what is it? Scott Adams has his systems over goals thing, and that's that because it's the system. It's like if the goal is like blowing up, the second you do have a blow up moment, then you're like, oh, now what? If the system is just like do great podcast every day you win. I remember I used to do the live streaming every day during the whole COVID period and all
Hmm.
that sort of thing before I came to Mexico, and the internet wasn't good enough for me to stream, which
Yeah.
initially it's now good, but initially that was not the case. Anyway, but I remember Cernovich tweeted something about what Scott and I and other people at the time were up to, and he called it drillers, not killers, I believe. And the idea is that just you're showing up every day, you're just drilling it every single day. And that way you become a part of people's lives and they trust you, they know that they can depend upon you. When you do something that often and that long, you can't fake it. No one can keep up a facade like every day on and on and on, right? So the real you have to be the real you. You can't be lying. You can't be presenting a fake thing. So it's the real thing, the real you that emerges and is strengthened by just constant showing up, and the connection between you and the people that watch or engage or whatever it is becomes like somehow almost like greater than family or something, because like how many of even our family members can we say show up that much?
Yeah. It's the system, and that's maybe back to like the lock picking thing. Is like, like what do I actually do on the podcast? And when people ask, they're like, how do you do the pod? I don't even say shit related to the podcast. I'm always like, get 8 hours of sleep, get 30 minutes of exercise, shower, put on clean clothes. I do 20 minutes of meditation and prayer, and then go in and be caffeinated and always be well read on not only current events, but any history that entertains you. And the reason for that is, well, what happens if the guest isn't talkative? You got to fill the hour.
Mm,
No part of me is ever like, get this microphone. And I don't even realize what I'm saying. I'm not even trying to be like, I'm a different kind of, podcast tutor. No, I don't even realize it when I'm saying it. I'm like, are you getting enough sleep and you're reading audiobooks? Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, and get a microphone. But that's the whole thing, is it's a system of showing up every day. There's no part of me predict. That's another thing. When I look back over the years, then whatever the next steps are, and it always happens, I don't know, every 6 months or so, there's a step up. It's never anything I was actively pursuing. It wasn't like I'm going to get to that mountain. It was I need to find another revenue stream. I need to keep going. And then the thing arises,
mm,
and then I make the mistake of focusing on that thing, where I'm like, okay, now I got to do more of that. And it's like, no, 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 no. Keep going forward. And then you keep going forward. You're like, but I don't know what the next thing is going to be. And then the next thing arises. And eventually it kind of hits you. You go, I've never accurately known, but no part of me in a million years thought unsolicited YouTube was going to email me and be like, hey, you can go back. And
mm.
now that has made a dramatic effect in income, in viewership, in everything.
Mm.
If I start focusing on like, well, what other platforms are going to ask me, that's the wrong. It's the general idea of the system. Just wake up, just keep going forward. But yeah, that's
It's two well, it's multiple. It's that you have to do that. It's the discipline to keep doing executing the system. It's having the right system, which you've engineered because to be the thing that carries you to your aim, no matter what. So you have your aim, you engineer the system that carries you there. If the aim is have great podcast, that's simple. Then the system is execute great podcasts, be healthy, be in good shape, be well read, all those things that you talked about, right? So there's that aspect of it. It's the showing up, it's the executing, but then it's also the being able to visualize and feel the desired outcome. It's being able to sort of be the person that receives what you want to receive. It's to be the guy YouTube comes back to, or be the guy that gets whatever deal it is before that thing happens. And in being that, you create the circumstances for the thing to happen. Was the old, was it Plato? Luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
Yeah, that's the
But
lot.
it's like, it's a practical thing, but it's also a spiritual and metaphysical thing. Like you have to be able to see the thing, feel and see it in your mind as vividly as if it was happening right now. And then you have to do the things right now that lead to that. But you also have to be the person right now that gets that. So that can be very confusing for lots of people to hold all at once at one time. It's like rubbing your head in a circle and patting your belly. But once you get it down, then life just unfolds in a magical fashion.
It's one and it's something I believe in as much as I believe in gravity. I'm a
Mm.
huge proponent of like you have to
You believe in
see,
gravity?
you know, maybe not, but it's like it's
But
it's
anyway, yeah, carry on.
no. It's but it's something that I truly believe. Now, is it quite literal in that you are creating this reality? Well, we don't entirely know or not. The whole double slit experiment, consciousness observation. We it's not enough to say we do know, but it's enough to say, yeah, we don't actually know if this has an effect. It might be a generative system where, you're in a video game and you're like, yeah, the game just goes forever. It's like, well, it's creating the map as it goes. That could very
Yeah,
well
exactly. And you can see the sky, but you don't necessarily go to space yet. But at some point, maybe they unlock space DLC,
be. Yeah.
and then you go to space.
So,
But the point, it doesn't matter though, right?
no, it
One of
doesn't.
the things that recurs to me over and over is an old song I did sampling Scott Adams from 2020, where he talks about the idea of it, he doesn't know if it works, but this fucking microphone. But if it feels like it works, then it works. So keep doing it. It doesn't matter if you can quantify it. It doesn't matter if it's like scientifically verifiable. If it feels like it's working, if the system you've set up for your, or the filter for your existence or whatever it is, if it feels like it works, then keep doing it. Don't be. It's like the bell curve meme with the retard on the
Yeah.
left going, it's a sign, and the redditor in the middle going, oh, there's no such thing as signs, they don't exist, blah, blah, blah. And
And
then
the
the,
guy in the
the
hood being
wise
like,
guy on the right saying,
"Sign."
it's a sign.
Yeah.
Feels
It's
like it works, then to keep doing it.
it's so on one hand, it's in a literal fashion that it's some crazy neuro consciousness quantum. Okay. But I don't even need that to be real. I look at the flip side of it. For me, it's if I can see it and feel it and hear it, and it's hard to get to that point because for me, I have to slow myself down in a meditation, and then again, if you knew what the thing was that you wanted, you'd be going for it. So you have to slow yourself down until you hear it and feel it, and then it kind of arises in you. And I meditate every day, and I maybe get it like once a month. It's very elusive, but if you can just have that feeling, I mean, I used to do it when I was in college. I'd be like, what is it going to feel like to get into medical school? Like, what is it going to be
Mm.
like? The vindication, the studying, like your parents are going to be proud. Like, I'm going to be like, I did it, the confidence. And regardless if you are actually creating that reality or if it is just a very elusive light and you're like, that's it. To me, there's really no difference. You're
Was it?
still you're still moving to the point.
Yeah, what does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't.
If it feels like it works, keep doing it. Like,
Case in
just, yeah,
point. Case in point.
just fucking it.
If somebody was like, "Hey, we actually proved that none of this shit's real," I'm like, "Okay, but it has brought me from a fucking I hated my life to my life is awesome now." I don't care. It has no
Doesn't
effect on
matter.
me.
Placebos work. So if
That's the
placebos
other part.
work,
I don't
then
care. Yeah,
yeah. Who could,
it's yeah, it's. So we know your femur was shattered in that car crash, and we gave you morphine. It actually wasn't morphine; it was saline. Yeah, I don't give a shit, dude. I don't care, and I think that's kind of what I
there's the whole like, what happened during COVID, and you saw a lot of so-called intelligent people really fall for a lot of like obvious stuff. But there's a difference between intelligence and being smart. And being smart is being able to imply intelligence to your life, right? Well, Naval had a good one recently, or something along the lines of like the true test of intelligence is if like you're happy with your life, or something along those lines, right? It's like if it feels like it works, keep doing it. Like you might, the most intelligent dogs are the easiest to train. So again, it's that there's that something on that bell curve, and this microphone is going to get thrown out the window in a minute. But
go
anyway,
for it.
keep hearing it clicking, or is this just me?
It has a couple times, but
It has. It's disgusting. How could it? Anyway,
in terms of the unquantifiable, like, I had all these goals and things, and another thing that's like not quantifiable, it's not on an Excel spreadsheet, was a couple of years ago. I was like, I want to move back up to New England. I want to be closer to my mom and dad and my little brother. And you can't, that doesn't show up on like the YouTube analytics, nothing, but it's something I really, really wanted. Getting sober had really no effect on because I would get drunk on weekends, but I didn't do podcasts on weekends. I mean, losing weight, maybe my face is a little less fat, so on some percentage level, maybe it's more appealing. But all those things they weren't on paper. They weren't on like, there we go, now we're achieving, but I view them personally as a huge success. And I kind of cycle back and forth into knowing which is which. And if the podcast on paper was the most incredible bypass Rogan and all, awesome, cool. You get money, you're proud of your achievement, but that's also not that's not family. That's not a human interaction. And vice versa. I'm sure you can have some great human interaction in a homeless shelter. And it's like, this is fun, but I also, I wish I had my own socks. Someone like yourself who has been doing this for years, and you do have a wife and you do have a kid, how do you cycle back and forth? Because I love what I do. I love being close to my family. I don't have a girlfriend. I wish I did. I don't have a dog. I don't have that. And I have to be very careful about what void am I filling? Am I working because I'm like, I genuinely want the podcast to improve? Or it's like, I want the podcast to improve because I want a good feeling, and I want a good feeling because I don't have a real relationship in my life. I have to be, not that you have the answer to this, but for you.
Well, I mean, me and my son were talking about this yesterday. He's just turning 13, and he's interested in girls and stuff now. Biologically. But the thing I've always talked to him about, we've always spoke about, and he brought it up again the other day, is the idea that like you don't go chasing girls, you turn yourself into the thing that is worth. Because it's not just that you want to chase girls, you want the right girl.
Hmm.
Increasingly in these like messed up days in which people are so sort of brainwashed and mind controlled and so on and so forth, and there's all this nonsense going on. Like it's crucial to be. It's the right
Hmm.
girl. It's the right woman. So you got to turn yourself into the thing that attracts that right woman, that deserves that right woman, and brings that right woman into your world. And a half-assed version of yourself will probably get a half-assed woman.
Mm.
So certainly there's balance, but you know, doing getting yourself into becoming the optimal you and becoming a you that can provide and becoming a you that's healthy and fit and all of those things that's not bad. That's making yourself the guy that deserves the girl. you know Now that some people will spend more time on that than others, and you can get it completely out of whack balance wise, and you can wake up 65 and you're on your own and you didn't put any attention at all into that, and you became the absolute ultimate you, and then you went past that. That can happen. So there's a balance thing. There's a song on the Scott Adams album I just put out called Soccer, and he's talking about, this is he was a world famous cartoonist, multi-millionaire, uh, best-selling books, big public speaker, big internet show, blah blah blah. And he's saying, that when he thinks about his life and he imagines, dying, and he imagines being on his deathbed, and perhaps his life flashes before him, and he doesn't. He says he doesn't imagine that he'll think for a second about his Dilbert career, about drawing those comics, about any of the awards or the money. He says he'd think about going to soccer practice with his stepdaughter. He says he'll think about watching cartoons with his family. Just those little moments. That's the things that when he looks back on his life, he imagines that's what makes up his life. So when you think about it like that, which it does seem to be the case, then all the striving and all the work and all the getting the best podcast or getting the best whatever it is, if there isn't that family stuff, then what do you even have?
Mm.
So again, it's that balance. There is a part of a man that is only filled by doing what he can in this world with his talents that God gave him. And if he isn't doing that, he'll be resentful and bitter. If a man is not being useful in the world by deploying the talents that God gave him, he will become resentful and bitter, and he will be half a person. But at the same time, there's a hole in most men that is only filled by the interaction with other human beings in that family type fashion, whether it's your wife and kids or whatever extended family you create. And if a man lacks those things, also it will be a tragedy for him. So it's working out that balance. And like I was saying, activating those aspects of yourself that maximize your potential with what God gave you will bring you the other thing if done correctly. But if done incorrectly, if it's done out of balance, it will block that thing. So that's like the eternal tragedy of man, one of the eternal tragedies of man. You know what I mean? There's all these men who work their fucking asses off, work themselves to the bone, and then they die and they're like, shit, I wish I'd spent some time with my son.
Mm. Yeah, that is something that creeps in on me is
So
like
anyway, yeah, just to answer, because I didn't really answer the question. So I'm aware of that. I pay attention to that. I've entered in my life in such a fashion that I'm in close proximity to my family. I've got a studio, like it's outside where I am currently. It's kind of like down the bottom. It's a building down the bottom of the garden type thing. And like my son comes in here and he makes songs, and I go back up and have lunch and hang out with him, and like we're together like a lot. Like I'm not just like gone all day and maybe see him for an hour in the evening or whatever. And he's like I make sure I spend quality time, despite working very, very hard. And sometimes in my life, it has gone out of whack, and you instantly know, and there are instant repercussions for that. But, I bought my son the Chronicles of Narnia box set for Christmas. He's 13 now. You think maybe he's a bit old for that sort of thing, but I'm reading them to him at bedtime, and it's a beautiful thing. And I will do things like that as long as I can. And I still put him on my shoulders, and he's taller than me now. I will continue to put him on my shoulders until I can no longer stand. And as far as like, fitness aims and shit like that, I always said it's like, in the instance of a zombie apocalypse, you need to be able to carry, your family across harsh terrain for long distances while being chased by monsters. Just on a simpler level, you want to be able to pick up your kid and yeet your kid across a swimming pool forever. You want to be able to pick up your kid and put him on your shoulders forever, no matter how big he gets, no matter how old you get.
mm, and that's kind of the balance thing where you don't get sucked into exercising where that's all you do. But and so like I look at I look at the podcast and I'm like, the podcast has also made me a better friend, a better son, and a better brother because I'm not bitter and resentful. I love this. I get to exercise the creativity muscle. I'm at work right now and I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I'm in a good mood and I'm in a good mood. And because of that, I'm like, I'm not really attracted to go drink or take benzos or smoke. I'm like, no. So in that sense, I'm like, no, it's not, don't throw it out the bathwater. Like it's fucking awesome.
It's not. It's crucial.
Yeah.
It's really important. It's really important that you do what you can with what God gave you at the maximum level. And
Mm,
when you do that, it radiates into every aspect of your life. It's just that some people don't know what's too far and what's not too far, and that's a difficult thing to
mm.
initially calibrate. But once you've calibrated and you know it's right, then what you want to do is pay attention to that feeling, write down what's going on. Write down what's going on in your life, how much time you spent doing this, how much time you're doing that, because you'll notice when things are exactly right.
Mm.
You look up at one point and you go, oh, wow. You have Kurt Vonnegut's Uncle Alex as if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. You want to notice those moments and write them down, because sometimes you'll get adrift and sometimes you drift off the path and you need to find your way back. And if you've written down what was going on, then it's easy to find your way back.
Yeah, I do that where I try to make a note of like, what is this feeling? Why
Mm.
is it and why is it good? Oh, it's a at the end of every day. I really, really enjoy sitting down and playing video games, having earned it. When I take 2 days
Mm.
off every week. First day it's like sleep. But I find on the second day playing video games, within an hour or two, I don't like it. Versus now, if I wake up, go to the gym, doing multiple interviews, blah, blah, doing all this stuff, working hard, dieting and meditating and praying, by the end, like, man, and it's like, well, where's that from? Well, it's from hard work. Now, right now, I'm in the
Mm.
middle of my day and I'm like, fuck this. I wish I had an off day. But I only appreciate it when I get to that point. So that's what that's what it also is to me. It's if it feels right, keep doing it. It's just this weird, and it's the antithesis of this the rational mind where you're like, oh, it's 35.1. Like, no, it's not that. It's all this vague, loosely philosophical, new age hippie chick stuff where you're like, the vibe is that way, but it really is, and it's impossible to quantify. Not to go into like a 180-degree different angle, but do you think GTA 6 is gonna suck?
I was going to ask you what video games you're playing right now. That's funny. But GTA 6, like, well, one is like, is GTA 6 gonna come out this year? They might delay it again. Two, is it going to suck? Well, Dan Houser is not involved in it.
Yeah.
Laszlo is not involved in it. Like core people from the team that made GTA great when it was great. And to be honest, you got to go really, when was it last truly great? You got to be honest with yourself. Well, I mean, mate, you might disagree. I don't think it's been as good since San Andreas. Four was. I really enjoyed
I was
four.
gonna say I like Liberty City.
I really enjoyed the Ballad of Gay Tony. The add-on that was
Yeah.
really fun. That was great. I enjoyed GTA 5, but it had a lot of issues. And I replayed it last year or something, and it doesn't really hold up narratively, and it's got a lot like lacking story-wise. The soundtrack isn't close to being as good as previous games. It's not as funny, this, that, and the other. It came out 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, and with regards to, the culture, it's interesting. Dan Houser has never fully admitted why he left. But the timing of when he left is when they brought in diversity HR department
Uh,
stuff at Take-Two and ordered everybody to take mandatory diversity, etc. training stuff. They got really like vicious with it, and this was around 2020, maybe like April or something. And everyone at Take-Two was like, right, you have to go to these diversity things, and you can look down this little rabbit hole, and you can find the woman who was leading them. She's like a really like quite dark, evil creature. And can you imagine Dan Houser and Laszlo and those people putting up
no.
with that? What you're going to make me sit here and listen to this lady tell me what I'm allowed to write about and what's funny and what's not funny and da da da. Are you kidding me? Right? And that was when him and all that lot left. Might be a coincidence, could be other reasons, but that sticks out to me. And there's been a culture of that ever since that you can find out about if you go down little wormholes and you find certain LinkedIn profiles and stuff. It's all the information is all there. Interestingly, it's not discussed very much in the world of people who write about video games and talk about them. Even people whose whole career is based around going, woke, woke, woke. There's people who do like whole channels that just go on about Ubisoft being woke. But most of them are scared to go near GTA for some reason. I think maybe people who just have so much caught up in it emotionally, they don't want to believe it in themselves or whatever. I don't know what it is, but like people seem afraid to go there. Anyway, so who knows? I imagine that like technically it will be great. I imagine, it will look good. It will be beautiful. I suspect there'll probably be some storyline things they force you to do that will be unpleasant to do. In this, if you know what I mean by that. Now you've got a male and a female. There are certain kind of people who work in these industries right now who revel. I'm never sure about that one. In punishing people that they don't like by forcing them to do things they don't like in a humiliation ritual type of fashion. The other thing that like they're like, the whole meme of there'll be a pride parade in GTA 6, and the meme is like
That's the
everyone's
canary.
happy.
That's the canary.
Except you're like, yeah, woo, like people who like pride parades, like, yeah, I get to go to a pride parade. People who don't, like, yeah, I get to go take a bazooka to a pride parade. However, in Red Dead Redemption 2, there's the Indian encampment. And if you go to the native Indian encampment,
Disarms you.
you can't do shit. And you
Yeah.
have to walk really slow and you can't shoot anybody.
Yeah.
Any game that doesn't let you shoot everybody is instantly despicable. I tried to play at Assassin's Creed Mirage. I downloaded it like on the weekend. I wanted something new to play, downloaded that. I got 10 minutes in and deleted it
Mm.
because all that sort of stuff. It was like they wouldn't let me kill the people who definitely needed killing. I was like, fuck this, shut, not
It,
doing it. So anyway, long story short, like I really would like it to be wonderful, but I'm under no illusion that something created in this foul era with regards to sort of media could be not tainted by all multiple things. One, the ideological thing. Two, the incompetence thing. They literally just like promote people who don't know what they're talking about with regards to storytelling, with regards to life experience. For like the humor, the people primarily responsible for the humor are gone, so I can't imagine how that would be retained. Um, so yeah, I don't hold out hope, but it would be nice if it was good. I'm not sat there. I can't wait till GTA 6 do that because you know. But it's a shame because I do love those games, and San Andreas is probably my favorite game of all time. And Red Dead Redemption 2, for all its faults, I loved that
it's
game and
incredible.
played it many, many times. Um, it wasn't Blood Meridian, but it was what someone should make that game. Someone should do that mod. But it was as a piece of art, as an experience, it was a beautiful thing that I enjoyed very much.
Yeah, and I'm by no means like a neutral observer. I love GTA. San Andreas was great. I was younger for that. Liberty City I loved. GTA 5 in hindsight when I look at it, I'm like GTA 5 was better because it was technically better. It was 4K, it was 120 FPS, all this stuff. But the more time elapses, and you can go and find, modded versions of GTA 4 where it's remastered and then four, you can start going, which one's more fun? Which one's
There's Vice
more
City. I got a version of Vice City on
well, they
this.
got rid of they got at some point they got rid of dismemberment. That's what GTA is. It's supposed to, the hilarious thing is like you can chop this bitch's arm off with a sword.
Yeah, they're crazy.
That
There's a
was
really good
they got rid
modded
of that
version
before
of Vice
four.
City you can get on like for Steam that puts all the original music back in and it just like whacks up the textures and everything and it's like just an incredible experience. And you play that game, you're like, oh man, this was the real shit. Just like every aspect of it, like thematically is perfect. The acting's brilliant. The missions are like fun and interesting. Music choice is perfect. Like it's funny. Every bit of dialogue of an NPC is hilarious. Like I don't know. I don't want to sound like the old guy. Oh shit was so much better in my youth because that isn't usually the way
No, I
I
think
am.
I think it's accurate here. It's GTA specifically seems to be waning. And I think that's what it's going to be. Is I think the Pride Parade's going to be the canary. Can you ram into it with a truck?
If you
Or
can
as
ram the Pride Parade, then everything's going to be okay in like in the whole world.
no, that's what I mean. Is
I
the
mean,
whole game is going to
that's
be good.
but not
That
even the
is the
game. I mean, like the world. I mean,
Earth in
existence.
general.
Yeah,
Earth, yeah.
existence. That'll be it.
Yeah.
That's how we'll know we're on the right timeline or no.
Wow, that is it. Yeah, no, if you can drive a fucking cement truck through and it just destroys them, it'll be that'll make the game. If you hit it and the screen immediately goes to slow motion, gives you the wasted, and then it's fucked. And I want
Hauser said something in 2017 or something when they were asking about it, and he was still there. And but it was like Red Dead was just coming out, and he was like, the problem with GTA right now is GTA was like a parody on America from the point of view of some British people,
yeah,
and like the world is so silly now. How do you do a parody? And also he says, how do you do something that doesn't date before you even get it out?
yeah.
And I think that's a big key is anything if they were when they were in active development supposedly with the whole new team from 2020, sorry, 2019, 2020 through 23, right? That was the period of like peak like ideological possessment
Mm-hmm.
insanity post COVID George Floyd etc.
That
Right?
might be why it's
So
taking so long.
anything
Is
anything written during that point would now be so horribly dated
yeah,
because the Overton window has shifted so dramatically. Everyone's kind of pretending like loads of stuff in that period didn't happen, that they didn't do those things, all that type of thing. There's all that cognitive dissonance, right? A game written in that period would be very of that period. And if you put it out now, it would seem like a weird historical artifact and no one would like it. Even the ideologically possessed types wouldn't like it because there'd be stuff they've changed now. There's things they were doing then that now is a wrong thing. So if that game was written as a kind of commentary on what was going on at that time, it would now be hideously out of date and they'd have to redo a huge amount of it.
which comes back to you should do what you want to do, not what the audience wants. Because has is GTA 4 aged out? No, because it's still
No,
fun as fuck.
it's still
It's
funny.
what it is. You can drive around and shoot people, regardless of your beliefs.
Oh, that's how you know it's though. So Gay Tony in that is hilarious and he's awesome. I love him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's in GTA Online and he's not called Gay Tony anymore. He's just called Tony.
Yeah.
They got
That's
rid of the gay thing and he's like not a character anymore. They removed every aspect of him that made him funny and interesting. He's now just like a guy that happens to stand in the nightclub that you own. Because everything about him was deemed politically incorrect, so he's like a hollow shell of a thing. So like you apply that to GTA going forward, you don't really have GTA.
no.
But like I was saying, maybe we're kind of blessed and someone that they're now course correcting all that stuff because of where we're at with our crazy Overton window.
And I know I gotta let you go in a minute, but I was gonna say a great example would be the game Ready or Not. You're a SWAT team, and
Okay.
the whole thing is it's you get high scores by not killing people, by zip tying and using flashbangs and less than
Mm.
lethal and collecting drugs, and it's fun if you want to go like autistic OCD out with some buddies and you're watching all the doors and the whole game is to not be lethal. All well and good. Now that's never how we play. We'd zip tie everyone and then execute them. Everybody, but just shotguns, everything, dismemberment, blow their brains off, and it was. I mean, to the point where there's a crack house you go into, and there was a crack baby, and you could
Yo!
shoot the fucking baby, and like
Wow.
immediately give you like 1,000 points. But you could do all this stuff. Something happened around a year ago, and if you shoot more than one civilian, your team turns on you, and they'll kill
Mm.
you. You have to if you engage in too many firefights, you have to cycle out your team members so that they can go get therapy. There's all these
Are you kidding?
uninstalled after like 20 minutes. I was like, fuck this. Fuck
That's
this.
great. That's almost comically funny. That's like,
It's
that's what you would
amazing.
do. That'd be a good April Fool. Did that
It's
sort of game
amazing.
for like a day.
And like,
Wow.
because like the fun thing is like sometimes we would just run in and just go crazy, just shoot everybody. And and now and the game it's still the same game. It's still beautiful. The gun plays great, but its soul was torn out. And it's not even like, oh, you play straight up uninstalled it from the computer. I was like, all right, fuck this. And I used to play that all the time. And that's kind of
Yeah,
what
life is suffering, my brother.
it's
You know what I mean? Life is suffering. What are you
that
gonna do about it?
So I think to me that's going to be the canary. Is if on day one you can drive, if you can crash a 747 into the Pride Parade and light people on fire, we're good. We
Yeah,
won't go to World War III.
yeah,
The country will be fine.
yeah.
We're
We'll be
gonna colonize
transcending.
Mars.
Like, what
Yeah,
is it? Fourth turning. Fourth
yeah,
turning. We're going into the golden age.
yeah. If you
Yeah.
can't, then load up on food and ammo.
Load up on guns. In the words of the great Kurt Cobain,
Yeah,
load up on guns. In the words of Alan Watts, what does he say? I buy my gun and bar my door
yeah.
because I know there's a storm of hypocrisy coming, or whatever.
Or as Terrence McKenna would say, be in tune, or maybe it was Ram Dass. Be in tune with the Lord, vibe with the energy, carry heat if you need to.
Yeah, I think
You're like,
that
what the
was
fuck? Yeah,
Terrence
yeah, yeah,
McKenna.
yeah. All right, well, Akira, dude, as always, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for the influence you've had in my life, and I'll
Hey,
email you soon.
congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
Congratulations on everything. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Christmas forever. I look forward. Next time I see you, you will be bigger than a house. You will be like something out of Berserk. And you kind of already are. You need to get one of those big fucking swords that's bigger
Yeah,
than you and just start swinging that around.
I'm on
And
my way to become something crazy. I don't even know what it is.
yeah, email me separately and tell me what game. What game? I can't find a game to play. I'm
Yeah,
like, do I even give up? The last thing I particularly enjoyed playing was Hitman.
I was about to say, have you ever played the Hitman's? All right, fuck
Yeah, I
me.
got into Hitman. That was fun. And Sonic Crossrails Racing. I did enjoy that.
Hitman, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Just Cause 3.
Shoot me an email with a
I'll send it
little
to you.
list of cool shit.
There are some games that I
Bearing
truly
in mind
adore.
that, yeah, I like basically I like GTA and Red Dead and Hitman. I like
Yeah,
third
no, no,
person
that's
run
me too.
around
Yeah,
shit. That's
that's me
basically it.
too.
I can't even
And
play first person games. By the way, it makes me feel queasy. Like
it's
I just can't even fucking do
and all the games I mentioned to you, those are all ones where the newer iterations are bad.
it.
They're all yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. All right, Akira. Well, dude,
life is suffering.
It
All right,
is.
bro. I'm gonna
Oh,
go to the physio and fix my fucking shoulder.
yes,
And
sir.
yeah, I'll speak to you soon. God
All right,
bless.
buddy. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your
Put it
time.
out.
Hey guys, real quick, you guys know Basil Baz, ARC, the Association for the Recovery of Children. I just did a fundraiser with them the other day, and I'm going to put this on to every episode I do. They are special forces veterans who physically rescue trafficked children. They have since 1993. They have a 100% success rate. They do not take salaries. They all have day jobs, and they literally rescue sex trafficked children. Donations to them are a tax write-off. I get nothing from them, and they have not asked me to put this on. I've included this little clip on episodes for the last year or so, and I'm just re-recording it because I just got to meet him just 2 days ago for future. It's November 25th, 2025, but this will be on every episode now for the next year. And there is nothing better you can do with your money. Um, if you can support them for even $5, please do that. It is, they truly are doing the Lord's work, and I think we all have an obligation to do that. Thank you so much.
Higher ultraviolet exposure is associated with lower mortality. The United Kingdom is a high latitude and low sunlight country. Researchers there collected data on over 360,000 participants in a study of UV exposure via solarium use. When compared with non-users, solarium users had 15% risk lowered of all-cause mortality, 23% lower risk of cardiovascular mortality, 14% lower risk of cancer mortality, and a 12% lower risk of non-cardiovascular, non-cancer mortality. In other words, all other causes. Quoting the researchers, our study adds to the growing evidence that the benefits of UV exposure outweigh the risks in low sunlight environments. A link to the original publication is available in the box below the video. Get some UV light this winter. Immerse yourself in the tranquility of the blue. Visit a Blue Room soon. www.blueroom.com.
Hey guys, a huge sponsor of the show is Heaven's Harvest Prepper Food. Clayton lives down in Georgia. He's been on the show before. It's actually nearby where I went to college. They are a huge sponsor of the show. They give me some money every month, even when I don't sell enough to warrant that paycheck. Meaning that the show is not free. It's just that it's free for you. If you guys need prepper food, or if you're just interested in supporting the show, I'd please ask you to go to the link in the description. Go to Heaven's Harvest Prepper Food, promo code TPC for 10% off. 72 servings per pail, 25-year shelf life. These things are, they double as dumbbells. Pasta Primavera, cheesy potato soup, mac and cheese, loaded baked potato casserole, chili mac, cheddar broccoli soup, cheesy lasagna, teriyaki rice. You can get banana chips. There's also raspberries, strawberries, and apples. There's a bunch of freeze-dried fruit, or you can even get seeds to plant your own garden. It's not a bad thing to have. It's like gold or ammunition. It's a good thing to have. It's a bad thing if you have to use it, but it's good. It's good to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. So that's what I'd say. And if you just want to support the show, please go to the link in the description. Please go support them because they support me. Thank you so much, guys.